to infinity and beyond.
Everybody, it's Roger and James here from Infinity and Beyond, and in this episode we're going to be going and discussing some E3 predictions from Microsoft. So this one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to open the field up a little bit to what we're expecting to see from E3. So Microsoft, what's the first things that you're expecting to see from them at E3, James?
Probably a Halo announcement. Maybe not like a full trailer or something like that, but we'll at least hear about Halo 6 in some form or other, even if it's just confirmation that they're working on it. We know they're working on it. Everyone knows they're working on it. But it would be nice to get maybe some details, especially after Halo 5 was so roundly criticized for its, like, oh yeah, it's not about Master Chief. It's about this other guy who doesn't actually matter at all. And of course, Halo Wars 2, I think, kind of didn't flop, but no one was talking about it a week after it came out. So.
No, I mean, I'd be honest, I think the last one I brought was Halo Reach. Was that Halo 3 or 4? I don't even know what that was. I kind of lost interest in... I had Halo, and I had Halo 2, and Halo Reach, and I think I might have even had Halo 3, but kind of generally got a little bit distracted by it, because it was never kind of my first type of kind of game. But I'm thinking for me, E3, the primary focus is going to be on Project Scorpio. Whatever this new beast of a console is going to be, I really hoping they just call it Xbox Scorpio. It's like they've done the same thing with the NX, and like you come up with these really cool code names, and everyone gets the branding's already there, and then they rename the thing. Kind of would like that kind of just Xbox Scorpio. It depends what this is, because this is kind of, I think Microsoft are going down this iteration mode. They are just going to keep bringing out new consoles constantly. This is not Xbox 4. This is Xbox 1 plus 2.
We're going to go Kingdom Hearts naming styles, are we?
Final Scorpio kind of thing. It's definitely, they're going in for the big guns. They want to make this, because I feel Microsoft are going down the line of, they want to put a PC console. That's what they're going for, a different market. They ain't going for what I would call casual fans anymore. It doesn't feel like it.
Well, this is the thing that we've kind of seen with Nintendo, is that they realized that getting into a fight with Sony and Microsoft on their terms and just pure like power versus power wasn't going to win. So they went out with the Switch and even the Wii U and the Wii with this idea of we're just going to change how you play games rather than try to push the most frames per second, which you can argue back and forth on, maybe they could have found a little bit better balance in that. But if Microsoft is smart, Scorpio will follow a very similar path. Now, I don't think they're going to straight up copy the Switch, make an Xbox portable or whatever. But if they're smart, they'll go, okay, we need to make sure that this platform does something that the PlayStation just straight up does not do.
Yeah, but I think the trouble is with the Xbox is they're just going for pure power. You've got all these teraflops, 4K, going to be the biggest, baddest one, but it's not going to be cheap. This box is sounding like a $500-600 box. It's going to be big. It's going to be expensive. It's going to make all your games look very, very pretty. And I think this is the problem. They need to come out and kind of just go game, exclusive, because they've lost this generation currently. They've
so far, yeah.
I don't think they're ever going to capture. They're already talking about their next console. They've already essentially jumped. They're jumping onto the next one, and maybe they decided to do the Nintendo thing with their Wii U. Go, right, we're going to pull back on all our exclusives on the one and update them to get them out on Scorpio. At this precise minute, I have an Xbox One collecting dust that I purchased just before Christmas last year. Bar some odd 360 games, I have not brought a single game on the Xbox One all year. PlayStation has every game is just been flying out. The Switch is definitely now my number 2 console. I was even very tempted the other day while I was in game to actually thinking of trading in my Xbox One with my PlayStation 4 just to get a PS4 Pro, because it just sits there gathering dust and it's so big. And the only thing that is slightly interesting me is I'm hoping to see some stuff about Crackdown 3, because I really enjoyed those games before. That is the one console exclusive that we are expecting to come that I will pick up on Xbox. But I've only got an Xbox One, let alone the different versions they've done since, I've got no interest at this precise minute in a Scorpio. But if Sony came out and said a PlayStation 5 was coming out in November, I'd say for it. And that's a big difference.
Right. Yeah, Crackdown 3 is going to be huge. I think, people overlook the original Crackdown. They overlook the second one. The first one was the better of the two, and I think, it sold really well because it came with the Halo 3 demo attached to it, and that's what most people got it for. But it was actually a really fun game. It's just like pure absurdity, pure destruction, just go crazy. And Crackdown 3 looks like it's going to be fantastic, but they need more than that. They need more than Halo 6 and Crackdown 3. They need something that can respond to Horizon Zero Dawn, something that can respond to The Last of Us. I mean, and The Last of Us was a PlayStation 3 title.
Yeah.
And they don't have a proper response to it. They had Tomb Raider, the original one, the original remaster for a little while, and then they lost the exclusivity and it got ported to everything else. They don't have that anymore, so they don't have their Uncharted response.
No, and I think the other big issue as well with Microsoft is because everything wants to go on PC and on Xbox, they're almost losing the exclusivity between themselves.
Right. I mean, you can either get an Xbox One or you can get a decently powerful PC for the same price. And while it's true most of the Xbox One games are better optimized for the system, like if you get Forza Horizon, it runs much better on the Xbox One than on an equivalently powered or equivalently priced PC. Now, if you have a powerhouse PC, it looks fantastic, but you can't necessarily afford a powerhouse PC in most cases. But I think Quantum Break was the same way as well. Again, these are their exclusives. And with the exception of Forza, you kind of just sit there and go, oh yeah, Quantum Break, I remember that game.
Yeah, I mean, I did have a look at a 4K video of... this was the difference now of having a 4K television. It's a little bit more like... I watched the trailer and go, oh, it does look pretty. Because you can't tell the difference when you're looking at your monitor or anything like that. There is another game that came to my attention the other day, was something called Cuphead. Which is like a side-scrolling shooting silly sympathy game that is apparently Xbox exclusive. And I'll be honest, the minute I saw that one, ooh, I like that. That looks fun. That looks different.
It's got a very interesting aesthetic.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, I think from an indie developer right now, unless you're going to be paid exclusive money, you want your game on PC, Switch, PlayStation, because you need to get this game out on as many different platforms as possible. But I really wonder, there's going to be some new franchises. I hope to see. This is Microsoft's one to grab, and I think this could go one or two ways. If they don't get enough games out there to sell the Scorpio, essentially, there's a new console coming out this holiday, and I think it's the Switch. I just don't think the Project Scorpio has got a real hard job going to be, because I think the Switch is just going to going up against Mario. That's going to be harder. Yeah,
going up against Mario Odyssey is going to be huge, no matter who you are. Even PlayStation's got to be, or Sony's got to be looking at that and going, well, we better have some big guns to counter this. If Microsoft goes up there and all we get is, okay, these are the specs on the Scorpio, this is the price on the Scorpio, Halo 6 will look better on the Scorpio than it will on the Xbox One, they're going to lose, because they need to come out there with games, not just the games we expect, but they need to come out there and be like, oh yeah, you remember Scalebound? We told you it was canceled. Hey, guess what? We uncanceled it, and it's Scorpio. I don't actually expect them to do that, but that's one thing they could.
I mean, the thing is, for me, multi-party games. Okay, so third-party games might look better on the Scorpio, but if everything else I'm playing is on the PlayStation, it's going to be now. It's this kind of thing of, I probably do lean more PlayStation than Xbox. But I have had all three Xbox consoles, so it's not like I'm completely one-sided on this. If Crackdown comes out on PlayStation, on Xbox One, I'll buy it. But I've always had this tendency that, multi-platform, I put them all on PlayStation, because but there's nothing on the Xbox that has just grabbed me, and they're all so reliant on Halo, Gears of War, and I don't really play racing games, so
right.
They've kind of gone so, and I think the way that they've they feel like they've lost it, and it feels like Nintendo have just swept in as being the number 2 console for everybody, and they're offering something so unique, and Xbox are going down high end, top end, best specs, best things. It's going to be the best looking, and then PlayStation is just going to follow suit with another. I mean, but if Xbox are just going to do a new console year on year or every 2 years, it's just becoming a PC.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to buy a new Xbox every year, and not even every 2 years. It's not worth it. I think, though, what might be the answer for Microsoft is actually something that you kind of mentioned earlier, is Cuphead. Not the game itself. Obviously, I think that's a very interesting one, but Microsoft could take a look at this and they could say, we're the underdogs now. We were the masters last generation. We're the underdogs in this generation. We can take risks now because we need to do whatever we can to get the market back. Let's just kind of go after these weird, quirky games and maybe draw people in because, maybe Cuphead's great, maybe it's going to be terrible, who knows, but at least they're trying something different. This isn't just, the 18th Halo game. This isn't even like Sunset Boulevard 2. This is a brand new game with a completely different look. At the very least, it'll create buzz as people are like, what is this?
Yeah. So I still feel like the Switch is going to be the new indie darling. It's the new Vita. The thing
More
is
than likely.
For me, and I'll be honest, Microsoft is not an underdog because it's Microsoft, right? They've got the war chest. They've got all the PC. The PC market is dropping, and they've not really, PCs are just selling less and less, and people need, Nintendo are the underdog. They are the one that they've got massive amount of money. They're known by names, but they have this little underdog little thing of they're the ones with the smaller machine that are fighting way above their weight, and people love. Microsoft doesn't have that connection with people. There's no one has that. It's like they've got 3-4 games in their library, and they're on PC. They're just very different.
Well, I think I also wouldn't kind of oversell the money factor because, yes, Microsoft does have a heck of a war chest, but that didn't help their phone.
No.
The Microsoft phone has been limping along for the past couple of years, and it's pretty much dead. They could have thrown whatever they want.
I did have one. I tried.
I actually had one. I really liked it. It just didn't have any app support at all.
For mine, after the fact that I picked it out of my pocket and it flew off and smashed to bits. But the fact that
that's a different problem.
No, but generally, you couldn't move all the hard. You couldn't move things over. But the phone, again. They look like they're trying to do all this stuff because they're trying to keep going, and looking at them, what they're doing, coming into E3, it's like, this Project Scorpio, now I've got a 4K television, I'm now kind of a lot more interested in, I do want to upgrade my console to be in 4K because I've started seeing the difference. But people are still only just changing over televisions, and it feels like and that whole thing of having a generation, Microsoft saying there's no more generations, everything's backwards compatible, everything's moving forward. We just want to go down this phone market. Was already fine having this thing of, there's a new console coming every 2 years, but what am I doing on this console? And that is where I think the problem is. Now, whether or not they've lined up this massive line of games that are unannounced that we don't know what they are, PlayStation are just, and if you're a developer and you're being thrown money, Sony know that they need the money, so they're upping more. And they're developing all their own first-party stuff, and Microsoft just doesn't seem to be doing that.
Yeah, I think, between Scorpio and then also, their work in Oculus, they're throwing their money at hardware and they're not throwing it at software, and software is really where they need to be looking. I mean, that's bottom line. I
mean, they could come out and literally be like, this game, like they do a PlayStation conference, and just be like, here's 25 games that you can only get on Xbox, and therefore that will be what they need to do to convince people that it's worth it. And it's also the thing of these games are going to be working on different games. Nothing is going to be Scorpio exclusive, so therefore it's this weird. We're in this weird bit where I think even like if PlayStation has a PlayStation 5, they can't just reboot again. I don't think people are willing to do that the same way, and I don't know. I think they're going to need some proper multiple games. Halo and Horizon and Gears of War are not enough anymore.
No, it's absolutely not. That we're in a different market now. Nintendo has tapped into something that people really kind of wanted, which is a mobile experience that's as good as the docked experience. It's not as good graphically as the competitors, but it offers a better gameplay experience for the most part.
I mean, there's this thing.
They got to catch up.
Yeah, Horizon versus Mario Kart.
Horizon versus Breath of the Wild, really.
Also, not Horizon. The Forza, the racing game.
Oh, Forza Horizon.
Against Mario Kart. They're so different, but I can't help but feel the fun side is the one that's going to win, because the beautiful cars are they only impress for so long.
In fairness, and I haven't gotten to try it myself, but the new Hot Wheels expansion for Forza Horizon 3 is apparently just a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So apparently they did a good job with that. But yeah, Mario Kart has been a franchise since the Super Nintendo. People know Mario Kart. You can't compete with it, and that's why we were talking about in one of the previous ones. PlayStation's got their All-Star title, which is the Smash Bros. There's a reason people are still talking about Smash Brothers, and most people have forgotten that there was a PlayStation Smash Bros.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely feels with Microsoft, it's going to be theirs to kind of get out there and win. So hopefully let us know in the comments below what you guys are hoping to see from Microsoft at E3, what's going to be getting you excited from them. And as per usual, you can get in touch with us on all the different social medias. You can find us on the video and audio platforms as well. And finally, you can check us out over at DisKingdom.com. Thanks again, James, for joining me, and we shall see you guys soon. Laters.
Later.